Long ago, before the floodwaters swallowed the earth, there were giants, mighty beings called the Nephilim. They were feared, powerful, and, according to the Bible, completely wiped out when the rain came. But what if that's not the end of their story? What if some of them survived? What if traces of their presence still linger in ancient scrolls, scattered ruins, and whispered legends passed down through time? In this video, we'll travel back to the days of Noah and beyond, uncovering the truth about what really happened to the giants after the flood. We'll explore the mysterious books left out of the Bible, like the Book of Enoch, discover tribes of giants mentioned long after the flood, and examine clues that point to something, or someone, surviving. Could Goliath, Og of Bashan, and the Anakim be more than just stories? Could the ruins and artifacts found across the world be the missing pieces of this ancient puzzle? Stay with me as we uncover secrets hidden for thousands of years. Secrets that challenge what many believe to be true. If you're drawn to ancient mysteries, biblical secrets, and the stories they didn't teach you in Sunday school, then make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the bell, because this is only the beginning. Let's uncover what really happened after the flood. Long before the flood, the world was not just filled with people and animals. There were giants. The Bible calls them the Nephilim. In Genesis 6:4 it says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them." These sons of God are believed by many to be angels, heavenly beings who left their place in heaven and came down to earth. When they had children with human women, the result was something unnatural, powerful, and terrifying. The children they created were not like regular humans. They were giants, both in size and strength. These Nephilim were warriors of great fame. They were known for their power, their violence, and how they influenced mankind. Some stories even say they taught humans things they weren't supposed to know, like forbidden knowledge, warfare, and magic. In the Book of Enoch, an ancient text not found in most Bibles, this story is told in even more detail. It speaks of 200 angels who made a pact on Mount Hermon. They took human wives and taught their children hidden knowledge. These giants, it says, began to destroy everything. They ate all the food, then started to eat people, and even each other. The world became filled with wickedness and violence. And that, some believe, is why God sent the flood, to cleanse the earth from this evil. Imagine their size, taller than buildings, louder than thunder. Visualize them walking among people, towering over cities, with eyes like fire and strength beyond measure. But did the flood really wipe them all out? Genesis tells us the flood came to destroy everything living on the earth, except Noah, his family, and the animals on the ark. It seems like the giants were wiped out with everyone else. But later, in Numbers 13:33, something strange happens. When the Israelites are exploring the land of Canaan, they report seeing giants once again. The verse says, "We saw the Nephilim there, and we seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." Wait a minute, the Nephilim again? After the flood? How could this be? Some believe the giants may have survived the flood. Maybe not all of them drowned. Maybe some were hidden away, protected, or sealed somewhere beyond human reach. Others believe it wasn't survival, but return. That the same kind of unnatural union between fallen angels and humans happened again after the flood. The Bible mentions different tribes of giants after the flood. The Anakim, said to be descendants of the Nephilim, feared warriors living in Canaan. The Rephaim, a powerful group of giants who lived east of the Jordan River. The Emim, called a people great, many, and tall, as the Anakim. These weren't myths to the people of Israel. They were very real enemies, so real that the Israelites were terrified of entering their land. Could it be that the flood was not the end of the giants, but just the beginning of a new chapter? Let's step outside the Bible for a moment. Many ancient writings support the idea that the giants may have continued to exist after the flood. In the book of Enoch, the angels who fathered the Nephilim are punished. They're chained and cast into a deep, dark place until the day of judgment. But their children, the giants, don't all die right away. Some are destroyed, but others, their spirits remain. These evil spirits, it says, began to roam the earth. They caused trouble, spread fear, and may even be connected to what we now call demons. The Book of Jubilees tells a similar story. It speaks of these giant spirits and how they continued to influence the world. It even says Noah prayed for protection from them after the flood. Then there are the Sumerian king lists, ancient records from Mesopotamia that speak of kings who ruled for thousands of years, before and after a great flood. Some of these kings are described as giants or demigods. Even in Greek mythology, there are stories of the Titans, giant beings who ruled the earth before the gods of Mount Olympus. They were overthrown in a great war and banished, just like the angels in Enoch. Are these all just stories? Or could they be different cultures remembering the same truth in their own way? The Bible clearly speaks of giants still being around after the flood, and even gives us names. One of the best-known giants in the Bible is Goliath, the warrior who faced off with David. He was over 9 feet tall and came from Gath, a city of the Philistines. The Bible calls him a descendant of the Rephaim, a giant race. Then there's Og, king of Bashan. The Bible gives a strange detail about him. His bed was 13 feet long and made of iron. That tells us just how big he must have been. Deuteronomy 3:11 says he was the last of the Rephaim in that region. And what about the Anakim? These were the giants the Israelite spies saw in Canaan. The ones so large, they said they felt like grasshoppers. The Bible says that Joshua led Israel in battle against them, and many were wiped out, but not all. Some of the Anakim survived and lived in the cities of Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod, places that would later become Philistine strongholds, and the very places Goliath and his brothers came from. Some researchers believe these tribes may have been part human, part something else, hybrids, and that their bloodlines continued in secret long after. Could it be that God's command to destroy certain tribes in Canaan wasn't just about land, but about removing corrupted bloodlines that traced all the way back to the Nephilim? As the Israelites prepared to enter the Promised Land, God gave them very serious instructions, commands that might seem shocking at first glance. In books like Deuteronomy and Joshua, God tells the Israelites to utterly destroy certain tribes. No survivors, no mercy. Men, women, children, all were to be wiped out. Why such harsh commands? To many, this sounds like a hard part of the Bible, but there may be a deeper reason behind it, something far beyond politics or land. Some scholars believe these tribes, like the Anakim, Rephaim, and Amalekites, were not ordinary humans. They may have carried Nephilim blood. If true, these people were part of a corrupted bloodline, connected to the fallen angels and their giant offspring. These weren't just wars for territory. This was spiritual warfare. The goal may not have been just to win land, but to cleanse it from the influence of the Nephilim, those who rebelled against God from the very beginning. This theory makes sense when we look at how only certain tribes were marked for complete destruction. Other neighboring nations were not treated the same way. But this brings up hard questions. Was it fair? Couldn't they have been spared? From a spiritual point of view, if these bloodlines were truly corrupted, twisted from the inside out, they might have been beyond redemption. God wasn't just dealing with people, but with something darker hiding in human form. This view doesn't erase the difficulty of these stories, but it helps us understand the why behind God's decisions. Maps of Canaan during this time often show the territories of the giant tribes, many of which were in the same places God told the Israelites to destroy. Could that be a coincidence, or part of a divine plan? So the giants walked the earth before the flood, and somehow showed up again after the flood. But what about now? Are they really gone? Some believe the physical giants were wiped out long ago, but their spirits remain. The Book of Enoch and other texts suggest the spirits of the Nephilim didn't go to heaven or hell. Instead, they stayed on earth, becoming what we now call unclean spirits or demons. Others take it a step further. Some researchers and fringe scholars believe the Nephilim never left. Instead, they say these beings went underground, hidden from public view. Their bloodlines, they claim, may have survived through powerful families, secret societies, and elite groups that still shape the world behind the scenes. This connects to all kinds of modern stories, from UFO sightings to shadowy world leaders to people who seem not quite human. There's also the idea of giant skeletons found around the world. Old newspaper reports, ancient graves, and strange bones have sparked interest for decades. Most of these findings are dismissed or hidden, but some still believe they're real. And then there are people today who are extremely tall, strong, and different in appearance. Could these be random, or signs of something ancient still alive in human DNA? Even in pop culture, the idea of giants, aliens, and ancient bloodlines keeps showing up. Maybe because deep down, we sense there's more to the story. Are the giants gone? Or did they simply trade their swords for suits and secrets? Let's take a step back. The Bible tells us giants once walked the earth, before the flood and after. They were more than just tall people. They were powerful, fearsome, and tied to something not fully human. God sent the flood to wipe them out, but somehow they returned. The Israelites fought against them. Prophets warned of them. Ancient texts spoke of their spirits living on. Maybe the giants never truly disappeared. Maybe their physical forms faded, but their spiritual legacy continued, through fear, through influence, through temptation. Even today, the world seems shaped by something behind the scenes, something dark, ancient, and clever. Could the Nephilim still be at work in hidden ways? That's a question each of us must ask for ourselves. What do you think? Are the Nephilim gone, or just hidden? Drop your thoughts, theories, and favorite Bible verses in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Have you come across strange scriptures, unexplained stories, or archaeological finds that connect to this topic? And if you enjoyed this journey through the mysteries of the giants, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. And remember, history isn't just what happened, it's what's been forgotten.